This first video brings us into the living room of Matty Magarossi, a man who was simply trying to enjoy a quiet night in front of the TV. It's a scene many of us recognize: the comfort of home, the distraction of a game, and the companionship of pets. But the atmosphere shifted when he began hearing a sound that didn't belong. He claims the stove door in his kitchen was opening and closing on its own. Determined to catch the culprit, he started recording, capturing a series of events that would leave his dogs on high alert and his own nerves frayed. The house, which usually feels like a sanctuary, suddenly became the stage for something heavy and aggressive. You can hear the tension in his voice as he tries to rationalize the inexplicable bangs echoing from just across the counter, while his dogs stare into the empty kitchen, seemingly seeing something he cannot.
I'm not crazy, the dogs heard it too. I'm sitting here watching games, and I heard what sounded like this stove open and close. I'm not even around, bro. That shit 1000, I know what it sounds like when the stove opens and closes. What the?
That first eruption was undeniably violent. Matty is clearly shaken, and even the dogs react as if a physical intruder had just slammed a heavy object. But as he continues to pan the camera between the living room and the kitchen, the activity doesn't subside. Keep your eyes on the cabinets above the stove, because the energy in this room is about to manifest in an even more direct and unsettling way.
What the Yo! What the is going on here? Yo! Bro, I'm home all the alone. Yo, this, bro. Holy shit. Bro. What do I do? What do I do, bro? I can't stay in this house anymore. I can't. Holy shit.
The sequence of events in Matty's home presents a difficult case for investigators. Some viewers believe this is an example of an intelligent entity seeking attention, specifically because the bangs occur in direct response to Matty's narration. Others argue that high-pressure shifts in the ventilation or a loose stove hinge could be the culprit behind the metallic clatter. Skeptics also point out that the camera is often panning away right at the moment of impact, which could hide off-camera manipulation or strings. However, the genuine distress in Matty's voice and the panicked reactions of his dogs add a layer of authenticity that is hard to dismiss. If this were a prank, the timing required to startle the pets so consistently would be immense. Was this a localized energy spike or a warning for him to leave? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Is Matty's kitchen truly occupied, or is there a rational mechanical explanation for the chaos? This next recording comes from a user who began experiencing unsettling disturbances in his basement. What started as faint, muffled noises eventually grew into something much more alarming, prompting him to investigate with his phone in hand. He calls out for a friend named Steve, but the silence that follows is anything but peaceful. Basements are often the focal point for domestic hauntings, acting as a foundation where residual energy can settle over decades. In this instance, the man feels a heavy presence lingering behind the closed door, and as he approaches, the atmosphere in the hallway seems to thicken with anticipation. He is certain he is alone in the house, yet the physical movement of the environment suggests otherwise. We're about to see a door that refuses to remain locked and a bathroom that becomes a focal point for an aggressive unseen force that seems to react directly to the man's growing fear.
Hello? Hello? Keep hearing weird noises in the basement, Steve, so I just want to... Oh my god. No way, oh my god.
The door swinging open was smooth and deliberate, with no visible sign of a draft or a person behind it. The man's panic is palpable as he checks the hinges and the surrounding area, finding no logical reason for the latch to give way. But the escalation is only beginning. As he moves deeper into the house to investigate the source of more noises, the energy follows him into the most private corner of the home. Watch the shower curtain carefully.
No way, oh my god. See, bro, there's nothing on this door. Hello? Hello? There's gotta be something.
The activity in this house seems to move with a predatory intent. Some viewers believe an entity is following the man from room to room, specifically because the bathroom anomaly occurs only after he expresses his vulnerability. Others argue that a cross breeze between the basement and an open window could account for the door movement, while the shower curtain slam might be a simple case of static or a sudden change in air pressure. Skeptics also point out that the man is heavily breathing and moving quickly, which can sometimes create enough of a vacuum in small spaces to rattle light objects. However, the sheer force required to slam that shower door and pull the curtain with such violence suggests a physical weight that air alone cannot provide. It's the kind of escalation that suggests an entity isn't just present, but hostile. Is this a case of a territory being defended, or something darker? Leave a comment with your theory. Would you have stayed to investigate, or would you have been out the front door long before the shower slammed? Donna Ayres captured this footage while attempting to document a series of paranormal events that had been plaguing her life for years. In this particular instance, she is pleading with the unseen forces to leave her in peace, turning to her faith for protection. The room is quiet, filled with religious iconography that she hopes will act as a shield. But as she speaks her prayers, the environment begins to respond in a way that feels like a direct mockery of her beliefs. She is clearly at her wit's end, recording not for fame, but as a desperate record of her reality. We are about to witness a single chilling movement that defies the laws of physics and gravity occurring right behind her as she begs for a moment of silence. It's an encounter that highlights the disturbing possibility that some entities are not deterred by symbols of faith, but instead they are drawn to the energy of the struggle itself.
If you're there, please can you move on to the light? I've never been through this before and I've never had any experiences like this. I've never been through this before and I beg in the Lord's name, please, just leave me be. Please. It's getting quite frightening now. I have a cross coming down my bloody wall. Oh, I need help. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. It's not listening to me. Why would it listen to me? Oh.
The movement of the cross on the wall is perhaps one of the most unsettling pieces of evidence in this batch. Some viewers believe this is a clear case of a malevolent presence, specifically because the cross slides downward in a controlled manner that seems to defy the way it was mounted. Others argue that a thin thread or magnet could have been used to create the effect from the other side of the wall. Skeptics also point out that the camera quality is low, which can easily hide fine wires or monofilament lines. However, Donna's history of documented activity and her genuine emotional state suggest a woman who is genuinely terrified by her own surroundings. The way the cross shifts doesn't look like a fall. It looks like it is being pulled by an invisible hand. This interaction with a religious symbol is a classic trope in paranormal lore, suggesting an entity that is trying to break the occupant's spirit. What do you make of Donna's experience? Is this a clever hoax or a terrifying glimpse into a life under siege? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The first half of our investigation has taken us from slammed kitchen doors to the terrifying physical manipulation of religious icons. The evidence is mounting, and the tension in these homes is almost palpable. If these clips are leaving you unsettled, you aren't alone. Make sure to subscribe to Pale Playback for new investigations every single week and hit that notification bell so you never miss a frame of the unexplained. We've seen doors open and crosses slide, but we are just getting started. Steel yourselves, because the kitchens we're about to enter next seem to be boiling over with an energy that is far from human. This video takes us inside a kitchen that appears to be the epicenter of an extremely aggressive haunting. The uploader, known as Errol, has been documenting the chaotic energy in his home where heavy furniture and appliances seem to have a mind of their own. The space is cluttered and worn, providing plenty of shadows for something to linger in. Errol seems accustomed to the activity, yet the violence of the movements continues to catch him off guard. We're about to see a sequence of events where cabinets are slammed shut and the refrigerator door is yanked open with a force that suggests a physical presence is standing right in front of it. The metallic clanging and the sharp impact of wood on wood create a soundscape of pure hostility. There is no one else visible in the frame, and the way the objects move suggests a coordinated attempt to drive the occupant out of the kitchen entirely. The first cabinet slam was startling, but the aggression only escalates from here. Errol attempts to stay focused on the kitchen counter, but the entity seems determined to use every part of the kitchen to manifest its presence. Keep a close watch on the refrigerator to the right, as the next interaction is far more physical. The refrigerator door being pulled open like that requires a significant amount of force, far more than a simple draft could provide. Errol is now standing in a space that feels like it's closing in on him, but the entity isn't done with its display yet. Something else is about to be launched across the floor. The level of physical interaction in Errol's kitchen is profound. Some viewers believe this is a classic case of a poltergeist, specifically because the activity is centered around a specific room and involves the movement of heavy objects. Others argue that Errol could be using off-camera strings or even a foot-operated mechanism to trigger the cabinet doors in the fridge. Skeptics also point out that the camera is often shaky and low resolution, which can easily mask the presence of thin monofilament lines. However, the way the objects fly across the floor at the end of the clip suggests a trajectory that would be difficult to fake with simple pulling mechanisms. The timing of the refrigerator door opening as he moves toward it creates a sense of an intelligent presence watching his every move. Is this an environment that has simply become toxic with residual energy, or is something actively trying to communicate through violence? What do you think? Hoax or haunting? Let us know in the comments below. In this investigation by the channel Ghost Rocky, we follow a team as they explore a kitchen that has become notorious for its high levels of activity. The investigators are speaking in French, attempting to provoke a response from whatever entity might be dwelling within the shadows. The room is dark, lit only by their flashlights, which creates a claustrophobic and tense environment. They focus their attention on the upper cabinets, where they have previously heard movement. As they ask questions and wait for a sign, the kitchen responds with a series of deliberate actions that seem to escalate in frequency and volume. We are about to see cabinet doors open slowly on their own, followed by aggressive slams that ring through the empty house. The investigators try to maintain their composure, but the physical nature of the manifestation clearly has them on edge. It is a chilling example of a location that seems to be reacting in real time to the presence of the living.
Ça me dit quelque chose, je sais pas. Taper, c'est de frapper dans une porte. On la pense là, si c'est possible.
Le placard s'est ouvert.
Ah ouais.
The first cabinet door opened with an eerie smoothness as if someone had just reached up and pulled it. The investigators are quick to notice, but the house isn't finished with its response. Keep your eyes on the entire row of upper cabinets because the energy is about to shift from curious to aggressive.
Le placard s'est ouvert.
Ah ouais, je viens de voir. Ok, si c'est ta façon de communiquer, d'accord. Est-ce que tu es une femme? Tu veux communiquer avec nous? Est-ce que je... Il y a des bruits.
Il y a eu un bruit derrière toi.
Je vais surveiller là quand même. Est-ce que tu veux que je m'approche? Franchement, je m'approche quand même. Je m'approche, et si tu peux apparaître. Non, j'ai pas envie de... Putain.
That slam was forceful enough to startle the team, yet they continue to push for more evidence. The entity seems to be mimicking their movements, responding to their proximity with physical force, but there's one final violent act that will send them packing.
Putain. Calme, calme, on se calme. Ok, je ne veux pas te faire de mal, hein. On veut juste que tu te manifestes, s'il te plaît. Tu n'as rien à faire là. Ah, pareil, je sais pas. Ok, d'accord.
Pas l'air très agréable ce soir. Hein.
Bref, merci.
The activity in the Ghost Rocky video is highly interactive. Some viewers believe this is an example of an intelligent haunting, specifically because the cabinet doors respond directly to the investigator's vocal prompts. Others argue that the team could be using hidden pneumatic devices or simple fishing lines to manipulate the doors from a distance. Skeptics also point out that the dark environment makes it nearly impossible to see fine details on the cabinet frames. However, the way the final door slams shut with such resonance suggests a level of physical force that would be difficult to coordinate perfectly with off-camera tricks. The investigators' immediate and visceral reactions also add to the credibility of the footage. Is this a spirit that is simply tired of being questioned, or is it a residual loop that is triggered by human presence? Whatever the case, the kitchen remains a place of deep unease. What do you think, is Rocky's footage a genuine encounter or a staged production? Share your thoughts in the comments. Our final video for tonight takes us into a quiet bedroom where an occupant is attempting to sleep despite a growing sense of dread. For several nights, they have heard noises echoing through the rest of the house, but tonight the activity has moved into the bedroom itself. The room is dark, with only the faint glow of a screen or a distant light source. As they record from the safety of their bed, the door at the end of the room becomes the focus of the manifestation. We are about to see a door that was clearly shut begin to move with an unsettling slowness. The person recording is paralyzed with fear, documenting the breach of their personal space. It is a terrifying example of how hauntings can strip away the feeling of security in our most vulnerable moments, leaving us alone in the dark with something we cannot see or understand. The bedroom door opening in Scary 2 is a simple but effective piece of evidence. Some viewers believe this is an example of a stalking entity, specifically because the door opens just enough to let something see inside. Others argue that a shift in air pressure within the house or an unlevel floor could cause the door to swing open if the latch wasn't fully caught. Skeptics also point out that we don't see what's on the other side of the door, allowing for a person to easily pull it open from the hallway. However, the stillness of the room and the sudden nature of the movement make it a chilling watch. The occupants' whispered reactions suggest a deep-seated fear that has been building over multiple nights. This isn't just a door moving, it's the culmination of an escalating haunting. Was someone standing in that hallway watching them sleep, or was it a purely spiritual manifestation? Tell us your theories in the comments. Is this a prank or a genuine nightmare? Thank you for joining us on this investigation through the shadows. That brings our investigation to a close for tonight. We've traveled through homes where doors slam with impossible force, crosses slide in defiance of faith, and kitchens become battlegrounds for the unseen. Whether these are clever hoaxes orchestrated for the camera or genuine glimpses into a reality we aren't meant to see, the feeling they leave behind is unmistakable. The line between what is known and what is hidden is often thinner than we'd like to believe. Perhaps these aren't just anomalies, but messages from a side of existence that is always watching, even when we are most alone. I'll leave the final judgment to you. Thank you for watching Pale Playback. Your support helps us continue digging for the truth in the most unsettling corners of the internet. Make sure to share your own theories and experiences in the comments below. I read every single one. Until next time, keep your eyes on the shadows and stay safe out there. Because you never know when the next bang you hear might be something waiting to be noticed.